This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Warrenville City Council regular meeting for Monday, June 20th, 2022. Please be advised that this meeting will be conducted in the traditional in-person format with the ability for the public to connect virtually using the GoToMeeting access information that you can find on our website. May I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Brummel,
Here?
Alderman Ashour,
Here.
Alderman Berry,
Here.
Alderman Davalos,
Here.
Alderman Goodman,
Here.
Alderman Krischel,
Here.
Alderman Kruckenberg,
Here.
Alderman Lockett, and Alderman Widener. Sorry.
Here.
Okay, Alderman Lockett is excused for this evening.
Thank you.
Although he may come in late, we'll see. Okay, would you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? This is the time we set aside for citizens' comments. We have one person signed up this evening, Mr. Bob Siebert. Bob?
Bob Siebert, Albright Court. In 2022, the estimated property taxes were $3,835,000. With the tax cap, the next year, the maximum amount would have been 5% or $191,766. If we go back to 2008, in TIF 2, with our Ray Street houses and the 130 additional houses in this triangle that were built in the 1920s, the 1930s, the 1940s, the 1950s, the 1960s, few into the 70s, all houses, there were no new buildings, one or two additions. Yet it created in 2008 an additional $700,000 in incremental yearly taxes. In 2008, the taxes were $1.9 million, which meant the maximum amount would have been $97,300. They collected 7 times the amount that was allowed under a tax cap. So we can see that there's no tax caps in TIF districts. This, when we have residential property and no new developments, creates a problem. The problem is that this $700,000 was then turned into increased property taxes. In 2010, I asked Bill Farley, the Assistant Superintendent for School District 200, I said, Bill, there's no justification for your over $500,000 of additional revenue. Bill smiled and said, Bob, if somebody's going to give me $550,000, I'm going to take it. That additional $700,000 per year from 2010 to 2022 has generated additional taxes of $8.5 million. when we add the TIF2 amount from 1994 to 2008, we add another more than $7 million. This creates $15.5 million, and we created no new taxpayers. In economics, this is called hidden taxes. So the question tonight is, who is protecting the taxpayers?
Thank you, Bob. We'll move on to official and staff comments, beginning with the mayor. Two things. One, on a personal note, last week I announced that my lovely wife, Mary, got COVID. She is recovering nicely, although a little slowly and a little weak with the typical flu-like symptoms. Somehow I got lucky. I did not get it, even though we lived together in the same house. I was tested negative towards the end of the week, and so I'm grateful for that. Who can figure this thing out? I don't know. It's so many weird stories, but at any rate, she's recovering nicely. The other thing, two other things. One, I see Barb Thornberry in the audience. I know that the 4th of July committee is still looking for volunteers for the beer tent. There's a sign-up sheet that's circulated on Facebook. No, that's not you?
Summer days.
Oh, summer days. Ah. You can still call Barb. Okay, I got them confused. Both of them. Sarah Warren, right. Right. Yep. Right. It's a lot of fun. You can make some new friends and see a lot of the citizens that evening. So July 4th, Sarah Warren on Facebook, or Colin Wilkie. You could get a hold of him also. I'm sure they would be happy to hear from you. The last thing I have is a letter of commendation from the mayor of Roselle. Dear Mayor Brummel, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for the support your Public Works Department provided to the Village of Roselle this past week. I'm grateful for the intergovernmental cooperation that exists in our region to help one another recover from unexpected events like the supercell thunderstorms on Monday, June 13th. As community leaders, we always prepare for the worst-case scenario and hope for the best. As severe weather events become more intense and erratic, our mutual aid to one another becomes more important as we adapt. Best wishes to you and the team at the City of Warrenville, and thank you for helping us at Roselle to clean up. And yep, that's what we do. We help when we can, and then we get that help in return when we need it. So thank you, Mayor. That's all I have for this evening, Clerk. Very good, thank you. Alderman. Alderman Goodman.
Yes, I have a few things. First, I want to announce that the Park District is having a public input meeting on June the 27th, next Monday. I know we're off. We don't have an actual city council meeting that Monday, so lucky me, I get to go, and that will be at 6 o'clock in the Warrenville Community Building gym. They are discussing the Park District's strategic master plan, the future of recreation programs, and it's open to the public if you've got input.
Actually, we'd love to see all the aldermen there if possible, and the mayor.
Okay, that is just what I thought. Secondly, early voting is now available for the primary election. There are some new election options that many people may not be aware of. For instance, on election day itself, the primary election day is June 28th, a week from tomorrow. You can vote anywhere in DuPage. You don't necessarily have to go to your polling place. That is new this year. Secondly, every person in Warrenville is changing congressional districts. So if you haven't looked into it yet, there are resources on County Clerk Kazmarek's website. You can put in your address and figure out what district you're in for everything. Also, recent cards were mailed out to all voters with all of your district numbers, so you can look it up like that. So because of redistricting, there is a lot that has changed, so please take a few minutes to do your duty as a citizen and make your choices. And next week, I hope you vote if you aren't able to vote early before that. My third item is just to make the sad announcement that Forrest Rice has passed away. So I want to send my personal condolences to his family, his wife, his daughter Sharon, and he was, for those of you who don't know, he was on the library board here in Warrenville for a long time. I believe he was president for a period. and he has contributed quite a lot to this community, and he will be missed.
Thank you, Alderman. Anyone else? Mary and I will be at the meeting Monday night, so we'll hope a lot of the others here can join us. It's an opportunity, again, to help them plan their future. Okay, John, welcome, good evening.
Thank you. I don't have a lot. I just want to add my thank you and kudos to Public Works for helping out up in Roselle. They've done that other places, and there'll be a day when we need people coming to help us from Public Works. We have police and fire interactions, fire district, and our police department get help from others all the time, but we hope to put that off as long as possible, but at some point we'll need help from others, and it's good that we're such a great intergovernmental cooperative place in DuPage County, and all those mutual aid things exist. Thank you.
Thank you, John. City Attorney?
Nothing for me.
Thank you, Brooke. Okay, we'll move on to the agenda this evening. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda? Alderman Widener, would you like to make that motion?
Certainly, thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the agenda for the June 20th, 2022 City Council regular meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any changes, discussion of the agenda for this evening? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and the agenda is approved as presented. We have a couple sets of minutes that need approval also. Alderman Widener?
Thank you. I move to approve the minutes of the June 6th, 2022 City Council regular meeting and to approve the minutes of the June 13th, 2022 Public Works and Infrastructure Committee meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. Yes, Alderman Goodman.
Yes, I've discussed this with the clerk. There is a mistake in the June 6th minutes that we need to correct. So I'd like to make a motion to amend the minutes, or to amend the motion to include the minutes as amended. On page 4 of the June 6th minutes, it incorrectly says that the motion was to approve the consent agenda items, but this is the regular agenda. So the motion should read to accept the long-range financial planning work group recommendation and pass Resolution R 2022-32, approving the letter of engagement with Chapman and Cutler LLP to serve as the city's bond counsel. So if it's all right with the motioner and the seconder, we could amend the agenda,
Okay,
or the minutes.
okay, and the clerk's aware of this now? Very good. All right, thank you for catching that.
Second on the motion to amend.
Oh, second on the motion to amend, please. Would like to do, okay, Alderman Krockenberg. And then, all in favor of amending?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, now we're good.
I think you have to still vote on the
Oh, we gotta go back to,
correct. Parliamentary procedures.
okay. Back to the original motion. We have a second, as amended. We have a motioner and a second agreed to the amendment, so we're all set there, right? All we need is a vote now. Finally. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Very good. Thank you so much. And we did it right. That's why Brooke's here, and John. All right, the minutes have been approved, and we'll move on then to the consent agenda as presented this evening. Item 6A, accept Public Works and Infrastructure Committee recommendation, waive second reading and pass ordinance 02022-21, approving an easement agreement for storm sewer improvements at 27W 760 Greenview Avenue. B, accept Public Works and Infrastructure Committee recommendation and pass resolution R2022-33, approving change request 2022-002 and change request 2022-003 to the contract with Quisitive, and authorize the city administrator to sign off on a detailed project plan and associated tasks to complete the ERP project. C, accept Public Works and Infrastructure Committee recommendation and pass resolution R2022-34, approving an intergovernmental agreement with the city, between the city and the Illinois Department of Transportation for the maintenance of traffic signals on state highways within the city. D, accept Public Works and Infrastructure Committee recommendation and pass resolution R2022-35, approving the purchase of a cab and chassis from Rush Truck Center in Chicago, Illinois for a Public Works dump truck in the amount of $94,994. E, accept Public Works and Infrastructure Committee recommendation and pass resolution R2022-36, approving a contract with Metropolitan Pump Company for the purchase of River Oaks lift station equipment. F, accept Public Works and Infrastructure Committee recommendation and pass resolution R2022-37, approving a contract extension with Crystal Maintenance Services for 2 years, expiring October 31st, 2024. G, accept Public Works and Infrastructure Committee recommendation and pass resolution R2022-38, approving a professional services agreement with Engineering Resources Associates Incorporated for Batavia Road Surveying and Design Engineering services. H, receive and file report invoices paid up to June 15th, 2022 in the amount of $55,940.72. I, authorize expenditures for invoices due on or before July 5th, 2022 in the amount of $139,357.25. And J, receive and file report of master debit card expenditures for the month of May 2022 in the amount of $18,662.75. Alderman Widener?
Motion to approve the agenda is presented by Mayor David Brummel.
Second.
Second by Alderman Davalos. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Chrisell?
Aye.
Alderman Davalos?
Aye.
Alderman Widener?
Aye.
Alderman Ashour?
Aye.
Alderman Krokenberg?
Aye.
Alderman Berry?
Aye.
And Alderman Goodman.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries and the agenda is approved as presented. We have one item under the regular agenda. Would someone like to make that motion, please? Alderman Berry?
I'd like to make a motion to accept staff recommendation and pass resolution R2022-39, approving and authorizing the sponsorship of the Warren Tavern Concert Benefit Event.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion of this? Does everyone understand what it is? Okay, Alderman Goodman?
I mean, I don't know if Barb had anything she wanted to say, but I am strongly in favor. On the Warren Tavern item, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to say, but I am strongly in favor.
Oh, no, I was just here if anybody had any questions that I could answer for any of the council members.
Right. Right. She gave me a note saying that she was here for that. Does anybody have any questions for Barb? Should we call her up or let her stay there? It's probably nice to sit in the back of the room once in a while, isn't it?
It is, lovely.
Alderman Widener?
Yeah, just as usual, have we made sure the insurance coverage and everything like that is there to protect all of us?
Who would be in charge of that?
First of all, this isn't an event that we are running. It's something we're putting our sponsorship on as a city so that they can have some of the live music, so they can have live music at the park. But it's not an actual event that we are coordinating in control of or actually handling. So I don't believe that we require insurance any more than we would for some of the grantees. There's no money involved in this one either. It's simply giving them the ability to have live music, and I didn't remember anything else that was an exception.
Sure, come on up.
Oh, thank you. Is this on? Do I have to push anything? No. Okay. Just so you know, the Warren Tavern Preservationists do have insurance, and it covers any events that we hold within either inside the building or outside the building. So I'm guessing that our insurance would be the coverage that's provided for this event.
Great, thank you. Anything else? Okay, good. Anyone else? Okay, could I have a roll call vote then, please?
Alderman Widener?
Aye.
Alderman Ashour?
Aye.
Alderman Berry?
Aye.
Alderman Davalos?
Aye.
Alderman Chrisell?
Aye.
Alderman Goodman?
Aye.
And Alderman Krokenberg.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're all set, Barb. Thank you. We have nothing under unfinished business this evening. No new business is listed. We do, however, have the need for a closed session. Could I have the motion and Alderman Berry?
Thank you.
Citation.
I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of 5 ILCS 120/2, parens C, parens 2, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees.
Second.
Second by Alderman Goodman. Have a roll call, please.
Alderman Chrisell?
Aye.
Alderman Goodman?
Aye.
Alderman Krokenberg?
Aye.
Alderman Wagner?
Aye.
Alderman Ashour?
Aye.
Alderman Davalos?
Aye.
And Alderman Berry.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are entering into executive session. We have no intentions of having any action after that meeting, so you're free to go about your business. Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you next time.
This conference is